Namaskar, hello, and a very warm welcome to CIET NCERT's special live phone and interactive program Sahyog, Guidance for Mental Well-Being of the Children. My name is Tanvi Khurana. At this moment, you're watching us on eVidya channel number 6 to channel number 12. Today, we are here with a very interesting topic titled Parental Aspirations versus Children Aspirations, Striking a Balance. So if you have any questions, any suggestions, you have anything to say regarding the topic, please connect with us. Participate in this program. You can simply call us on our number, which is 844-844-0632. And if you have any questions and you want to get in touch through the email ID, that would be sahyog.ncrt@ciet.nic.in. And you're also watching us on our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Official. In the live chat box, you can write down your questions, your queries, and share them with us. Let me tell you that this is a very special initiative by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, for providing psychosocial support to the students, to the parents, as well as teachers. And that's the reason we are here for this discussion titled Parental Aspirations versus Children Aspirations, Striking a Balance. We have two experts with us, so let me please introduce them to all of you. My first guest is Dr. Anand Valmiki. Sir, a very warm welcome to you. Sir is from Northeast Regional Institute of Education, NCERT, Shillong. And my next guest is a practicing counsellor. She is Miss Shivani Laishram. Ma'am, a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Good evening. So we are going to begin this discussion very, very soon. And yes, I have told you all the mediums through which you can get in touch with us. We'll definitely wait for your questions. And before we begin this discussion, let me just tell you that we are extremely proud of the fact that India assumed G20 presidency and would convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country this year, that is 2023. A nation deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history, as it seeks to play an important role by finding global pragmatic solutions for the well-being of all, and in doing so manifest its true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or should I say, the world is one family. So with that, let's start this discussion and let's understand what exactly is parental aspirations and why is it so important in a child's life. I would request Anand sir to answer this question. Sir.
Thank you very much. It's a very quite universal and contentious issue that we have parental aspirations at one hand and children's aspirations on the other hand, and they often come in conflict with each other in this technocratic, meritocratic based, modernized, liberalized economy in which our society is moving towards. Parental aspirations are those that the parents generally dream about their children. That my child will have to become like this, he'll have to or she'll have to achieve this, probably based on the societal demands, societal influences, societal factors. They may want their children to become good students of science, mathematics, engineering, and so on, medicine, and so on and so forth. They have their own dreams, like what society demands about their children, how their children will fit into the society and will lead a very dignified and decent life in the society. This is what is parental aspiration. It is of no negative connotation. Parental aspirations are always positive. They want their child to be a very highly eligible kind of functioning personality and a skilled labor in this society. This is what is parental aspirations are. And how they are important for a child is they generally motivate a child to deliver the dreams of their parents in terms of the potential that the child have got. They'll have to work hard to achieve what society demands and what their parents have set forth for the child to achieve in this society. Therefore, there is a problem whether child is taken into the consideration as what a child will be during growing up and becoming a complete functioning citizen of this society, child's aspiration also becomes very important. Therefore, this topic is quite relevant and it is universal in nature, and everybody experiences this parental aspirations versus children aspiration in their life. Therefore, as this discussion unfolds, we can talk more about conflicts, compatibilities, and the kind of striking a balance between parental aspirations and children's aspirations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for introducing the topic, one part of the topic to all our viewers, parental aspirations. What exactly are those? So, because we're talking about a balance here, striking a balance between these two things, parental aspirations and children aspirations, let's understand what exactly do we understand by children's aspirations. So, ma'am, I would request you to answer this, please.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much once again to having me here today. It is a wonderful opportunity to be a part of the Sahyog session talking about a very relevant topic, that is parental aspirations and versus children's aspiration, and how do we strike the right balance between the two. Sir has already spoken about parental aspirations and what parents expect out of children, the kind of expectations they have about when it comes to academic pursuits or career pursuits. Now, when we talk about aspirations in general, they are basically a very strong driving force or strong feeling that develops in order to achieve or succeed in life. They are basically dreams, hopes, and aspirations. They can also be thought of as an overarching life goals that help the children to move towards a particular direction. They tend to have a purpose in life, a direction in life. So these aspirations that children develop could be due to various factors, and aspirations can not only be seen in terms of academic pursuits, they also cover a varied aspect, like in terms of personal life, in terms of relationships, in career, in academics, in family, in social life, and so on. So they have different aspirations in different aspects of their life. Usually when they are growing up, when they're small, usually they have these kind of aspirations, like they want to grow up and become a pilot, or they want to grow up and become a doctor or a chef or a teacher. That happens by looking at their surrounding, whoever they observe, they start modeling. That the term that we use is called modeling in psychology. So they often see them as role models without even knowing, without even putting much thought about the consequences and what they have to do in order to achieve it, and what comes after becoming or after pursuing that particular career option. So this happens when they are at a much younger stage, and as they keep growing up, their interests and the aptitude that they hold, that shapes their entire profile, what they actually want to do, what they actually wish to do, what are their aspirations or their dreams. And sometimes they're also influenced by the peer, the kind of friend circle they hang out with. They tend to get ideas about what their friends are interested into. Sometimes that is where peer pressure or peer influence comes into the picture. Many a times children or young adults, they tend to have aspirations based on what their friends wish to do, which college they want to join. Sometimes they also have these conflicts with their parents based on this, because they don't wish to do what their parents are expecting out of them. But again, this is not always the scenario. If there's good communication between parents and the children, they come to a middle point, and then they decide what actually is best for the child or what they need to do. So this is basically children's aspiration. All they want to do is do well in life, succeed in life. They want to have a purpose, a direction, and in different aspects of their life, they tend to, they explore a lot. Usually, when they are growing up, the most common aspirations are exploring and doing something new, trying out a new skill, visiting new places, or just staying ambitious and to just keep growing in whatever they are doing. They keep giving their best in whatever they are doing. So these are one of the most common aspirations as they're growing up. And once they are in their high school, that's when they start putting in a serious thought, and they start working on these aspirations, on their interests. Like I said, it helps them build a very strong profile, and this takes them closer to their dreams or ambitions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, let's understand what are the effects of parental aspirations on a child's academic self concept. Sir, would you like to answer that, please? Dr. Valmiki. Dr. Valmiki, can you hear me? Anand sir, can you hear me? Okay. Anand sir, please unmute yourself and then start talking. Anand sir. Anand sir, please unmute your mic. Anand sir, we cannot hear you. Can you please unmute yourself? Okay. Ma'am, would you like to answer this? Ma'am. Shivani ma'am, can you hear me? Shivani ma'am? Okay. Shivani ma'am, can you hear me? Okay. All right. So we're talking about parental aspirations versus children aspirations striking
I'm sorry,
a balance.
can I continue?
Yes.
Academic self-concept is something where child undergoes in which kind of academic discipline one can do better, rather than being imposed by somebody else that you have to perform in these disciplines better. So when there is a conflict between child's innate potential to perform in one or other discipline, and when child is compelled to perform better in the discipline of the choice of the parents or the elders, child may undergo a kind of dejection, and a child may get deviated from the academic performance. When child cannot perform academically better, child's academic self concept will go lower. When child performs better in the areas of interest of her own, she will be able to do better. So eventually, what is the result, what is the eventual outcome of this is child may lose interest or become disinterested in the academics itself, and eventually this might lead to a child eventually becoming a low achiever when compared to a child whose parental academic choices and one's own academic choices go in parity and hand in hand with each other. Therefore, parental aspirations play a major role in academic self-concept of a child, rather than bullying them about in which subject you are going to do better, you have to do better, or in which subject you have to be least bothered about. Child should be given complete freedom with a kind of guidance, because parents have a kind of hypothesis amongst them that my child is immature or not matured enough to perform or to choose one's own discipline. However, child has that ability, that kind of capacities and potential to excel in some or other subject. Parents will also have to make sure that the child's interests are not being muted or boiled down. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And so these are the effects of parental aspirations on the child's academic self-concept. Well, I would say that there has to be a significant role which the children aspirations play in the holistic development of child. Is it true? Is it not? Let's understand from Shivani ma'am. Ma'am, what do you think? Why do you think that the children's aspirations play a significant role in the holistic development of a child? Ma'am.
Yes, I completely agree. Because holistic development, what we understand is the overall well-being and development of any individual, for that matter. That is, development in terms of physical development, social development, emotional development, spiritual development. So all the factors together culminated forms a holistic development of an individual. When they are performing well and when they are fit in all of these aspects, in all, then we can say that a person is living a full and complete life and they have a good positive holistic development. And now when we talk about children's aspirations and how much of a significant role they play in the holistic development, then I would say that it's 100%, because uh, whenever they're aspiring to become something, to go forward with a particular in a particular field, wherever they are interested, be it in academic terms, be it in a career field, be it in terms of maintaining good social relationship with anyone, if they have a positive mindset, if they are, that's where again mental health comes into the picture. Since here I am, giving a little bit of psychological perspective over here. So when they are doing fine both physically and mentally, and they are moving forward with achieving their goals with a very positive mindset, automatically the whole it means that their holistic development is on a very much positive level. So that is how we can say that children's aspirations, as long as it's very positive and healthy and they have a good support and encouragement from their environment, it does play a very significant role in their holistic development. So it's basically, they kind of overlap and they are intertwined with each other. Thank you
so much, ma'am. And sir, in the beginning you said that we'll be discussing in this program itself, there are the conflicts, certain conflicts between these two aspirations. So now would you like to discuss what are those conflicts, and also how are these conflicts affect the educational attainment of the child and of course their mental health as well, sir? Anand, sir?
It's a very research-based topic. Like educational attainment has huge impact on the future of the child. But we have to look into the present scenario of the child. Setting a target for a child, like you have to get through with 95% or 99%. The grades, the percentages and grades really affect the child's overall personality or holistic development of the child. First, parents should know, must know that there is a need for conversations and a democratic dialogue with their children regarding what they aspire for. Of course, most of the parents, like me, may feel that my child is not matured enough to choose the subjects of his choice or the career of her choice. Therefore, this helicopter parenting, that what my child is doing, in which areas she is performing better or he is performing better, what is the market demand, the ability of the child and the demands of the market will have to coincide with each other at some point of time. And it is the role of the parent, the immense responsibility of the parent, to educate one's own child about what market expects, the economy expects, the society expects, and the family expects. All these expectations should not be imposed on the child, but will have to be educated for a child to understand what kind of expectations there are on her or him by the family, by the relatives, by the peer group, by the society, by the market, and the entire social system, of course, at larger level. And parents should give them space to speak about what child's aspirations are. If child is interested, say for example, in fine arts, such as music, dance, painting, or any performing arts, or any other areas like technical or vocational education. Now, the education system of school system, educational system in India with regard to school education system has opened up to such an extent that child can make one's own choices in science stream, in arts stream, in fine arts, in languages, so on and so forth. So it is now it is responsibility of the parents to cope up with what kind of openings, what kind of spaces that our education system is providing their children, and lead their children, help their children, and make sure that their aspirations, children's aspirations, are given value, given space, and are considered and balanced with the aspirations of the parents. There is a possibility now that the subject of the choice of the parents and also the subject of choice of the child can go in hand with the coming up National Curriculum Framework 2023 and NEP 2022, which we will unfold in the next level of discussion. For the time being, what I could say is these conflicts are universal. However, these conflicts can be managed to a certain extent, where child and parent speak openly with each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So, you cited a few conflicts between these two aspirations, that's parental aspirations versus children aspirations. Let's understand from ma'am. Ma'am, being a counselor, we would like to ask you that are there any resolutions to the conflicts sir just mentioned, and also how to strike a perfect balance between these two aspirations? Is there any particular solution? Because our viewers, they are not just the children, they are the teachers as well as parents. So, ma'am.
When we talk about striking a balance, I believe that there's always a conflict between parental aspirations and children aspiration. I will not generalize and say that it's the same scenario in every household, but we mostly observe that parents have different expectations, children have different aspirations, and sometimes they tend to overlap, they have conflicts, but it is not always the case. But if we talk about how to strike a right balance between the two so that there's not much of a conflict and there's a little bit of peace maintained and they reach a middle point, one of the most important thing is communication. I feel that there has to be adequate amount of communication from both the ends, that is from the parents' end as well as from the children's ends. They have to come forward and talk about what kind of expectations they are having from each other. Like parents have some aspirations for the children and they have some certain amount of expectation that this is how much they expect their child to probably score in their examinations, or this is the kind of university they want their children to attend, and this is the course they want them to go on with. At the same point of time, children's aspirations might be a little different from their parents. So in such a scenario, I feel parents should not be that imposing, and children should also somewhere try to understand why their parents expect this out of them. I'm not saying that children should now put behind what they want for themselves and just keep following what their parents want, even if they're not interested or if they don't have the aptitude for it also. But I feel they should at least come forward and talk to each other. Let each other know and that what they are wanting for themselves and what the parents are expecting out of them, so that they reach a middle point and maybe there's some kind of understanding between each other. Another important point would be, parents, I feel, should set limitations and boundaries, yes, of course, but also give them enough space and flexibility to openly talk about what children really want out of their life, what kind of dreams they have, what they really want to do, aspire to be, also how they want their parents to be supportive. And in this situation, when parents are giving them that much of leniency and flexibility and an open space, free space to talk about it, children should not again take advantage of that situation. They should also understand that they should come forward and freely talk about it and communicate with their parents. I think this is how a right balance can be maintained. And other than that, I feel there should be support and understanding from both the ends. There should be active listening. We should Both the ends should be patient enough to sit down and understand each other's viewpoints, each other's opinions, because I feel children, they have, as they keep growing older and older, they have to make such big decisions, and which requires a lot of negotiation and brainstorming. And this can happen only when they have that enough support and understanding from parents and as well. And parents should also be somehow sometimes mindful of how they are communicating what they truly wish for their children. So I feel these are some of the most important points, important factors. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Like you said, these are some of the most important factors, and I'm sure the parents, they have made a note of it. So coming to towards the end of our program, sir, I would like to ask you that any suggestions from your side based on the National Education Policy 2020 and also the National Curriculum Framework, that is 2023, that will fine tune the parental and children's aspirations, sir?
Here comes the crux of the matter, that is National Education Policy, which is very flexible in terms of what kind of courses a child can pursue, be it at school level or once after progressing from school to college and university level, what courses a child can pursue in future also, so that at school level itself, child can prepare a roadmap for herself. At the same time, since NCERT, as a faculty, as a member of NCERT, we are all interested in what kind of school choices, school-based, discipline-based choices that children are going to make. All I would like to convey to our beloved children